Good evening. You are welcome to another episode of our Aviation Maintenance Inside podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to enlightening aircraft maintenance engineers, aviation professionals with regulatory guidance, practical knowledge, and safety protocols. Real world insight. I'm belonging to have this personality join me on this show. He's a postgraduate student of aerospace engineering who eventually found himself into aircraft maintenance practices. Before we dive right in, I would like to invite engineer Njoku Darlington to kindly give us a little background about himself.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on the show. My name is Njoku Darlington Onyekachi, and by special grace of God, I'm a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer, active in the field, both base and line maintenance. Like you rightly said, I also have PGD in aerospace, aeromechanical, and my first degree was in mechanical engineering. So it's all about mechanical aircrafts and then to the field. And I'm single, by special grace of God, and I'm from Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Can you take us through your journey of becoming a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer?
All right, it wasn't an easy one. I can say is something of dreams delayed, but can never be denied. In the sense that even before I saw an aircraft first time physically, I had this passion of, first of all, becoming a fighter pilot. And here in Nigeria, the only way to achieve that is for you to go through Nigerian Defense Academy. But then I tried to look for an aviation school. Then NCAT wasn't popular then. So what I did was to follow another channel, and that was to do first degree in mechanical engineering and power plant option. So by the time I finished, that was when I got to know about Air Force Institute of Technology. Okay, no problem. For me to go into this, let me first of all understand the design concept of the entire machine. And that was why I decided to head to AFIT, where I did aerospace engineer. And I also participated, one, in designing using software like CATIA, what we call AH-25, AFIT Hybrid 25. That was the UAV we designed that period. And then we also went into production using composite materials like carbon fiber and glass fiber. So we did produce, and that was how from there I now wrote my license exam and then started practicing.
Okay, thank you very much. So that means initially you had you have aviation. Aviation has always been your mind, but it's just that the path was not straight.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a nice one. That's a good one. That means eventually the thing got clicked and your dream eventually came true. Thank you very much.
We're on track.
Okay, from the outside world, becoming a licensed engineer and type-rated aircraft maintenance engineer, would you say it's easy or difficult?
It's not really easy. I can tell you it's very difficult. Yes, it is very difficult in the sense that, one, there's no shortcut. You must work for it. You must read. You must show commitment. The resilience must be there to get to that peak. So it's a field that you don't have to buy course. You really have to study. Your money cannot just acquire license for you, because we are talking about an industry that, people say is a live coffin that carries 500,000, 1,000 people. Just a little mistake will cost over 5,000 lives. So it is something that you have to show commitment. You have to study, you have to read, and it consumes a lot of money too.
All right. Thank you very much for that insight. Now, currently which aircraft are you rated on?
Okay. By God's grace, I'm type rated on Embraer 135, 145, Legacy 600 and 650, and Rolls-Royce engine, Alpha Echo 3007 Alpha engines. And then I'm also type rated on Challenger series 601, 602, 604, 605, and then 650.
Okay, thank you very much. So another question, please. was a business jet always the option, or is just an alternative? Or do you have any other aircraft in mind that you initially wanted to be rated on, or eventually you see yourself on a business jet?
Okay, because of the organization I'm working with, we have AOC and we have AMO. I personally am under AMO, and under our AMO, we have several fleets under our OSPEC, both commercial and business jets. So, for you to be an active engineer, you really have to be rated. And first of all, what is type rating? For those who don't understand what type rating is, type rating is a specialized training course that a licensed engineer has to undergo to get authorization to release and certify maintenance carried out on that aircraft. So even if I'm licensed, I need to go type rated on that very aircraft. If I'm type rated, for instance, on ERJ 145 series, that does not mean I can certify and release Boeing 737. All right.
Yeah.
It is a way of saying, okay, you understand the working mechanism of this aircraft, and by regulations of ICAO and Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations, you are authorized after due maintenance and with duplicate inspection carried out to release the aircraft. So back to my organization, once you are a licensed engineer, is expected as much as your pocket can carry, and then if the organization finds you worthy, they can also type rate you and train you on whatever aircraft. So it's not about business jets.
Okay, all right. Thank you. If I could recall, when you were doing your postgraduate at AFIT, you were coming to my place of my organization that time for your hands-on experience. Now,
yes,
as a student then, now that you eventually got operated on the aircraft and you are a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer, what was your first on hands-on experience on a real-life aircraft was? How did you feel?
Yeah. Funny enough, it was an unpressurized aircraft, and that's the Do 228 that the Nigerian Air Force operates. Do 228-100-200. That was the first aircraft I trained on, though I'm not type rated on. So I think that exposed me to the structural mechanism of entire aircraft. So now moving to the commercial line, I now understand the difference between pressurized and unpressurized. But I started with unpressurized aircraft, which is the rugged, I call it rugged aircraft because it's very, very rugged. Rugged Do 228 aircraft.
Okay, that means the hands-on experience you got while you were a student actually removed the phobia from you already, even before you got operated.
Yes, exactly. And the people I worked with, which you were also part of them, the 431 engineering group, it's a place where if you really want to learn, you have expatriates who will guide you. First of all, they will put you through safety. That's the number one priority. You have to understand safety, and then handling of tools, documentation, because the work is not yet done until the paperwork is done, and then understand what human factor is all about. So I think that gave me the foundation to where I am today.
Okay. Now, being that your first hands-on experience was, though it was on the live aircraft as a student, now you are working on the commercial jets. How can you compare your Challenger with other aircraft like Boeing or Airbus? What do you think is what distinguishes them in terms of technicalities?
Okay, Challenger is a Bombardier family aircraft, and like every other manufacturer, they all have their unique one or two things that are very, very unique and why people go for it. But Bombardier Challenger in particular is a business jet aircraft, and then the series you have advanced equipment in it. For example, the original 601, when you see it, it does not have winglets, and then the Avionis is also what differentiates it. Now we have 605 and then the latest 50, the latest 650. Now, what's the difference? The 601 uses Proline 4, Collins Proline 4, but then you now have 650, which is the latest one, using advanced Collins Proline 21. You understand? Now, this is very, very important. And then you also have range too.
Okay.
The range, additional tanks too, and then winglets, integrated winglet configuration, which the original 601 does not have. So every manufacturer has one or two things that make their own aircraft to be very unique. Just like in ERJ 145, where you have the ECAS, all right? The ECAS, unlike in Boeing 737, 73 does not have ECAS. And then 145 has ECAS if you are having a particular fault. Let's say your Gen 1 failed, your generator 1 is not coming up. The
Okay,
ECAS will tell you Gen
1. Thank you very much. You are taking us too far. We are not here for type rating. Thank you very much. Now, I want to ask, let's move to another segment of this discussion. On your day-to-day, I mean, I'm not rated on the Boeing or the Challenger. I'm rated on the military aircraft, this C-130 Hercules aircraft, the Dornier 228, and the Diamond aircraft. When you come to those ones, definitely I will give you my best. Now, let's move to another segment of our discussion. How does your day-to-day maintenance activities go? How can you describe it when carrying out your maintenance?
All right. Okay. For we on commercial side, you have to be very, very, very active. You have to set your alarm if you're the type that doesn't wake up on time. You wake up around 3 a.m. to start preparing, get your bags, everything ready. By 4:30, you should be at the airport to do the pre-flight, do the walk around, so that before 5:30, 6 o'clock, you report to the pilots. And then if the aircraft is fit for flight and airworthy, you sign and release the aircraft. So it's more like military activities. So you have to wake up and be very, very active, and then be in a good and sound mind.
Okay, it actually shows that for someone to be successful in this industry, to do the work effectively, you must be mentally and physically fit. It's part of the basic requirements. Thank you very much. Now, in aviation, safety is a core matter. It's something that can never be undermined, no matter the circumstances.
Not at all.
In your maintenance activities, how do you and your team treat safety in your work environment?
All right, we have the ICAO regulations and we have NCA regulation, and to be frank, they serve as watchdogs. So, and even in our AMO, we also have the AMO procedural manual. So those are the checklists that guides us in everything we are doing, including the manual. So whatever thing we are doing, you don't second guess, you don't think, you follow the manual. And then that also calls for duplicate inspection. If even a type-rated engineer, I carry out any task by myself, I also need to call another person to come and do duplicate inspection. The other person also needs to call the supervisor to also come and do duplicate inspection again. So safety is not something that assumption will set in. You must make sure that it's being removed totally. So we follow the guidelines of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulation.
Okay, that's a very good one. I love that, because we don't do things on our own. There is no complacency. There is nothing, I know it, I can do it. You must follow the book. It is our guide. It is our guide. Exactly. Okay, thank you very much for the elaborate explanation. Now let's dive into the technicalities and the future of aircraft maintenance. Where do you see aircraft maintenance in the nearest future? Looking at the technological advancements of today.
All right, it's very, very surprising. And when you watch the modern aircraft we have today, you see that there is advancement in production of aircraft now, such that the old engineers are also finding it difficult to compete with, let me say, the Gen Z engineers. Why? Yes. Because of the technology involved. So you have upgraded systems, you have advanced systems. Okay, for instance, you have before, like in the 228, where you want to troubleshoot, you have to get your multimeter and start doing pin to pin. But now, yes, systems are doing it for you. So you need to understand systems. So in few years to come, we'll be having, integrated advanced AI systems that will tell you the exact problems. And if you are not conversant with all of these systems, you find it difficult to work on aircraft.
Okay, that's a very good one. Now, how do you see the impact of NCA in our approved maintenance organizations and air operators? Because I learned you said earlier that your organization comprises of both. Your organization is both they have AMO and they are also air operators.
Yes.
So how do you see the impact of NCA guiding our airlines or our aviation industries in Nigeria to ensure that the right thing is done? What can you say about the impact of NCA on our airlines?
The impact of NCA is actually positive, and I really want to appreciate the authority, to especially the DG, because in recent time we've not recorded any bad incident because of their constant inspection and enforcing the regulations. Because left for us as human beings, we want to do it in our own way. But because of the enforcement and then follow up in their regulations, like of recent, they brought out the 2023 regulations, and then they mandated that every engineer need to be acquainted with it. So once you are even working, you will see them from nowhere. They will just show up. Where is your manual? What are you doing? And they will check if what you are doing is in line with the regulation. And I think that makes engineers, to be at alert, knowing fully well, one, that your reputation is at stake, your license is at stake, that you are dealing with a government body that if care is not taken, when things go wrong, you'll be charged to court. It's not just you losing your job. So that makes everybody to be at alert. If you don't want to read, you must read. So the impact is very, very positive and is actually working. And I really commend them for doing that.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, you said you said one thing, that even if engineers don't want to read, because of the consequences that will be involved when they made a mistake, they are forced to read. Okay,
exactly.
On that note now, how do you keep up with current regulations and technological advancement on day-to-day basis? What are your projections? Where do you tend to see yourself in the maintenance industry so that you will not be obsolete, so to say?
Okay, we live in a digital world where informations can be accessed even without me traveling to the other side of the world. And then in the aviation industry, we have what is called service bulletin. If there's any information, maybe from the manufacturer, it will be updated immediately. So a licensed engineer who knows what he is doing ought to be updated with service bulletin. If there's an information affecting a particular aircraft, or there's a problem somewhere and it's also happening here, the manufacturer will copy you. Okay, this is the solution, how to go about it. So you don't say it's from manufacturer. You have to be updated and then try to know the current thing happening, where the aviation industry is also trending towards to, and stay updated. And that boils down to what I said earlier. You have to read. You have to be acquainted. You have to know what is happening.
Thank you very much. It's a great one, because learning never stops. The day a man stops learning, that's the day I assume that he has never learned anything. That is how it is. Okay, as we gradually begin to wrap up, we have a few questions left for our discussion this evening. Now, the issue of mentorship, it cannot be overemphasized as far as engineering is concerned. I know that you are quite young in the industry. You have spent a few years. How do you see the issue of mentorship? Do you have a mentor that you look up to, okay, that you want to learn from, someone with exceptional character or personality in terms of maintenance activities and character?
Yes, of course, is undeniable. It's undeniable because when you are working on a path that you've not walked through before in your life, you actually need mentors. You actually need people who will guide you. I have a few persons I look up to. One, in how they handle the issues of troubleshooting. They don't give up even when we have AOG, aircraft on ground. The focus on the job and they get it sorted out. Is a skill. So I look up to them, how they go about doing it. I want to be even more better than them. And sometimes when I have issues in areas I get bemused or confused, I contact them. I ask them, boss, please, how do you do this? I have done this and I have done that, but maybe I'm not getting it. And then just one or two things they will put me through, I will bounce back. So it's very, very important to have a mentor. And I really have them, and they are very, very good in the industry.
Okay, that's love to hear. Thank you very much. Okay, on your own part, do you have any
Yes, sir.
younger one, anyone just coming into the industry that you tend to mentor or that is looking out to you for mentorship?
Yes, because currently now we have students who are undergoing on-the-job training. And
Yes.
sometimes when I'm working, a few of them will come to me to say, sir, please teach me this. How do you do this? And they do this often. And because of the way I was impacted, I also try to also put them through. Okay, you need to know how to do this. You have to do it this way. And there's no shortcut. At the point, it's going to be boring, but you have to be persistent. You have to, show interest. So I have few of them I also put through. And without them
Okay.
telling me that I'm their mentor, but I still have few of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Like myself, God has helped me. I I served in the military aviation for several years,
Yeah,
and I have mentors and I
yeah,
also have mentees. I
exactly.
can never forget the first maintenance activity that I carried out personally. My supervisor then, they will tell you to go and do this, but they will be at the corner looking at you to see your capability. But often a
Exactly.
time when they now have the confidence in me, yes, this guy cannot do this thing. Aircraft can come with snack, they'll say, okay, go and clear it. And confidently I'll go and
Exactly.
clear the aircraft and release the aircraft back to service. That is how it is. It's not just it's not a miracle, it's not a rocket science. It's a mindset
Yeah,
that needs to be built and developed over time. Thank you
that
very
time,
much,
yes.
Engineer Darlington. Okay,
You're welcome.
one more question before we go. If you are privileged to share your experience so far with someone aspiring to come into the industry, what do you think that would be?
All right. First of all, is that there's no limit to what a man can do if he's of a desirous mind. If you have passion for the industry and you are determined, you will definitely get it. For me, I'm lucky in the sense that one, my profession today is a combination of talent and passion. Talent in the sense that I have the gift. Even while I was in primary school, I built an aircraft without seeing an aircraft. And then passion in the sense that I do it from morning till night without knowing that I've not even eaten. So and today this is where I am. So for somebody who is looking up to you, the person they shouldn't see it as is a job part. I'm looking for job. See it as something you have passion for. And if you have passion for it, you might not be looking at the money at start, but as time goes on, the experience will pay off. The problem people used to have, which we see every day in the industry, is that because it's aviation, they come in, and once they come in, they start looking at the money. But that is not what the industry is all about. First of all, you have to build yourself. You have to, get yourself acquainted with what is happening. You have to gather experience, and this takes some years. That is when the money will start coming in. There's no shortcut.
Okay,
So whoever
okay,
is thinking of coming in, or those outside there, you have to show the passion.
okay. Thank you. Based on what you said, let me just pick something from there. You broke my back. You said while you were in primary school, you built an aircraft without seeing an aircraft. I will take
Yes.
that even while you were in primary school, you used to see aircraft flew past the top of your roof. Those days, maybe is that imagination that you use?
Unfortunately, my school is located in a place where you hear the sound, but you not see it.
Oh,
But
that's
then I
ridiculous.
had some textbooks then that you can see the. I had some textbooks where you can see the physical nature of an aircraft. That was where I got the inspiration to. Because then I didn't even know what is thrust. I didn't even know what is drag. I didn't even know the principle of lift. All I know is that this thing has to move. It was when I now
Okay,
advanced further, that was when I now understood how everything works.
okay. You said another thing again that when when some people come into the industry, they start looking at the money instead of developing capacity. Now, I believe in let your hobby be your career or your profession.
Sure.
That's what I picked. That is what I picked from what you said. If my hobby is what I desire to do for a living, definitely I'm going to succeed in it.
Sure.
That is what I just picked from what you just said now. So coming into the aviation industry, let there be passion, let there be zeal to succeed, not just about the remuneration, the benefits, and all of that. By the time you put that one first, definitely you are going to encounter challenges. It might not come the way you desire it, but as time goes on, as you develop capacity and interest, definitely all those benefits will definitely come. Thank you very much, Engineer Darlington. It has been a pleasure having you on the show. We'll still look forward to partnering with you some other time. For our viewers that are watching us and listening to us, wherever you are viewing us from, we thank you very much. We urge you to continue to stay safe, stay compliant, and keep learning as we continue to move the aviation industry to a greater height. Thank you. I remain your host, Engineer Eddie Itsula. See you in our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.